What's up, everybody? Odd feather is the topic today. Do you need an odd feather? Why do you have it? And especially the question always comes, why don't you care about you have the arrow wrong, your odd feather is pointing inwards? So, first, odd feathers, I think they were made when you shot or when you started shooting with this plastic vanes. You see this? Because they are quite resistant. When you shoot, you see they always scratch somewhere the bow. And when you shoot kind of these more modern bows with an arrow rest, when you do this and you shoot with the odd feather inside, I hope you see this, with the odd feather inside, and you shoot, then of course it might happen that this plastic vane deflects your arrow and makes some weird arrow flight. Okay, so on the other side, when you have your odd feather out, and I still think it can deflect the arrow. So that's why, first thing, we here in Malta Archery, we don't shoot plastic vanes. So when you shoot real feathers, I don't have, well, let me get one with an odd feather that you see. So, good. Because for our guests, when they ask for it, we put an odd feather on it. So, now, if I would shoot a feather, a real feather, through this bow, the odd feather inside, there's almost no resistance, because look at this. It's, of course, when you have a very short arrow and a very lightweight arrow, it might still deflect the arrow. But this way, the arrow really passes even through a bow like this, very nice and smooth. But we here at Malta Archery don't even shoot with this kind of arrow rest. We shoot from the shelf, means directly from there. And for me, I shoot now since a few weeks, months, years. It doesn't make a difference if I shoot like this, or if I have the odd feather on the wrong side and shoot like this. And you see this, I have the odd feather inside, and I shoot from the shelf. It feels almost less distractive than when I have the odd feather outside, and this feather needs to pass here. It lifts the arrow a little, and it can push the arrow easier out of the way. So, and I even met bow builders, they make their bow shelf that you need to shoot with the odd feather inside. So simply don't always, because you heard something, oh, the odd feather always have to point outwards. It's not true. It's true when you shoot Olympic bow with plastic vanes, but it's not necessarily true when you shoot traditional, at least for me and for my students. And on the other side, for me, as you know, I have my arrows like this. I bring them on, I don't mind the feather. And I shoot, and especially I shoot this way, thumb release with a Katra. The odd feather is completely no problem. So this is, of course it will cause now maybe a big discussion. This feather has to be outside. If you're too worried about your odd feather, order your arrows with 4 feathers in a cross, then no matter how you knock your arrow, the arrows will always point away and not to the bow shelf. So this is me and my opinion about the odd feather. And now you know why in Malta Archery you actually never see me using arrows or making arrows with an odd feather, only when the customer asks for it. And they ask it because they need it. And when you see then historical built arrows, look at this, all the same color, because maybe they didn't care either. And they didn't have this small, like modern nocks have a small notch on it, so you still know the orientation, but it really, it does not matter if the feather is here or there, at least for me. So look at historical things, modern, historical, but it makes, for, in my opinion, for traditional archers, no difference. Now let me know your experience. I shoot the same accurate on every distance if the odd feather is out or in or wherever. That's why I don't care about the odd feather.